You ever wonder why people who swear they will not become like their father end up becoming just like their father? I think there's two main reasons why this happens. I'm going to share the number two reason first, and then I'll share the number one reason last because I think the number one reason is more important. That's why I wanted you to remember the number one reason. So I'll share that last. Tony Robbins said, "Where where focus goes, energy flows." So whatever you focus on is where you put energy towards. So the one problem here is if your focus is on not becoming like your father, then that's the wrong direction. And by the way, this could be your mother, whatever, it's just seems to me it seems to happen more with fathers, men that have a abusive alcoholic father, and then all of a sudden they are that abusive alcoholic father. That seems to be one thing is having to focus wrong. And in life, in general, you should always focus on who you want to become, what you want to do, and where you want to go, rather than what you don't want to become. When you're driving a car, you have to look forward to see where you're going. You don't look back to see where you're not go, right? I would say one way to fix that you could do is pick somebody who is a good father that you could there's a role model that you could copy and say, I'm gonna become a good father like that person. But be careful with that. Go in with an open mind, knowing that everybody is imperfect, everybody has problems, because there will come a time that you realize that person's not perfect either. And so you might get discouraged. The other way would be is to create a character of a good father who you want to be and maybe write it down. I want to be like such so and so, this and that, whatever. Don't make it too complicated that you can't do it. Don't try to be perfect. Let's try to be a good father. Fatherhood is a very important thing, in my opinion. Literally can change the world. You can change your legacy, your children's future on future generations by saying, I will be a good father to my children. Okay. You can literally change the world. Okay. So watch where your focus is, because again, if you focus on not becoming like your father, you're thinking about your father too much, and you're too much focusing on that, and that's where your energy will push you. All right, next, unforgiveness. I think this is a number one reason is unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is one of those. It's just a nasty thing, because I believe it's like I've heard it being said. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die or to get sick. But you're the one drinking the poison. And I think that's what it is. Unforgiveness hurts you, does not hurt the other person. I also believe there's people in this world that have done things so bad they do not deserve to be forgiven. There's people, sorry, my computer is being that have done things that have not been brought to justice, and they don't deserve forgiveness for what they've done. But if you are the person who's been abused, you deserve forgiveness. You deserve to forgive them because you deserve to be set free. Unforgiveness holds you in bondage. That's just a fact. I've felt it myself. I've been through it. It holds you back. It holds you in bondage. So forgiving somebody for something they did isn't so much about them. You're not saying that they didn't do what they did. You're not saying it's okay that they did what they did. You're not saying that they don't deserve to be held accountable and punishment or whatever. You're just saying, I will release them because I will no longer deal with this hold on my life. That didn't quite come out like I wanted it to, but it's close. But it just means you release them. You forgive them. And so therefore you become free. And I'll say for the Christians, I'm a Christian myself. People who are non-Christian, non-believers, then I always give more credit or um, more leeway, I guess, to those people, because if you don't believe in the Bible and God, then you don't. But if you're Christian and you believe the Bible and believe in God and you don't forgive, well, the Bible tells you you must forgive because God forgave you for all your sins, so you're supposed to forgive others. And so that's a command. But for the non-believers, that command is still there, but they don't believe the rest. So I understand if they don't forgive. If you're Christian, I don't understand because you have to. Now, I understand it takes time. It might take years to get through to whatever. You can get professional help. You can get counseling to work through it. You can talk to God about it and pray about it. One of the ways that I found this by accident. There was a situation where I said, "Okay, God, I don't want to deal with this. This person did something. I don't want to be the judge. I don't care. You're God. You know what's right. You're the fair judge. I will hand it to you." And like I prayed this out loud. I hand you this person and this situation. Take it off my hands. I don't want nothing to do with it. Give it to you. And soon after, I was talking to somebody or something came up that this person and situation came to my mind, and I realized I had zero resentment towards that person. And it like hit me. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, I took it from myself and I laid it, as someone said, at the foot of the cross. And I just said, God, you deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. And to be honest, I don't want to be that judge. I don't want to be the one who carries out the punishment because I don't know if it's justified. I would rather let God do that. So that was one way that I found that forgiveness works is to just hand it to God and say, God, you take care of it. But that may not work for you. You just have to figure out what works for you. The other way might be to go and confront that person. That's a way to build some courage and face your fears and go confront that person and say, here's what you did, but you got to go in with the expectation of I want to confront and forgive and walk away, even if no apology has been given, because you never know. That person might be hard hearted and simply don't care. The other way, the other option, or the other thing that might happen is that person might open up. And if you're willing to be open to their story, you might find that they went through things that you never knew, and it brings some understanding why they would do what they do. There's a, I heard this story one time. This guy, as a man, went to talk to his dad about who he was as a father. And if I remember right, he said for 7 or 8 hours, him and his dad had a conversation where his dad opened up to share how he was abused and what his father was like and how his childhood was. And even things I think that there was a this guy was a I don't think he was adopted, but something with the last names, just incredible stuff that the guy had no idea. And he would have not found out had he not gone, talked to his dad and said, "Hey, let's talk this out and let's work it out. Let's figure it out." So sometimes it's just that. Say, "Hey, look, especially in family, I don't believe it's necessary to have unforgiveness in family. Go talk it out." It's like, "Hey, come on, let's get together. Let's talk about this." But you must have an open mind and be willing to have understanding and not just blame, blame, blame. So there's that. Number one, focus on what you want to become instead of what you don't want to become. And number two, if there's unforgiveness, please, I'm begging you for your sake, figure out a way to forgive because it will set you free. Again, I understand there's people who don't deserve it. Doesn't mean that makes it right. It doesn't mean that you trust them again. Doesn't mean you forget. It just means that you are free and you can go on and live your life. Telling you, it's totally worth it. Unforgiveness will hold you back. So let's go out there, guys. Let's be great fathers. Let's raise a great generation and change the world. Till next time, peace out.